Glenn Youngkin, we must have a thriving economy if we're going to succeed. And so I'm saying to you, there is hope. Don't give up. Again, don't give in. Get to the polls. Get your friends to the polls. The election is closer than you think. It is September 18th. It is not November. Get in there. Get in there. Get in there. Vote. Folks, thank you very much. God bless you. And God bless this great Commonwealth that gave my family hope and a future. It is time for a change. And now I introduce to you our next governor, Glenn Youngkin.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Winsome Sears. Jason Miyares. I want to thank all of you for coming out today, but there's a lot of other people out here I want to thank as well, because what's happening across Virginia today is something incredibly special. Everybody's coming together. Everybody. And what's awesome to see today is all of you out here, but also so many of the people that go work for you every single day. We've got Delegate Terry Gilgore, who you heard from earlier. We've got Delegate Will Wampler. We've got Senator Todd Pillion. You know, Senator, Councilwoman Amanda Pillion's here too. And she's working. She's working. We have Delegate Israel O'Quinn. Thank you. Supervisor Saul Hernandez. There he is. Hey, Saul. Great to see you. Supervisor Charlie Hargis. Where's Charlie? Supervisor Dwayne Ball. There he is. Thank you, Dwayne. Supervisor Wayne Stevens. All righty, Wayne. Great to see you. There's two Attorney Generals in the House, Jason Miyares and Attorney General Jerry Kilgore. Woo, woo, woo. Delegate Ren Williams. Great to see you. Great to see you. You know, I have a bunch of kids, and so I'm always afraid I forget to introduce one of my kids, and so I hope I didn't forget anybody. But thank you all for being here. This is what's happening around Virginia, is everybody is coming together everywhere we go. Crowds are bigger. People are more enthusiastic than we've ever been. And friends, it's not just Republicans. It's Republicans, it's independents, it's Democrats. It's people who say, I'm not political at all.
It's about time.
But I'm for you. Friends, last night we were at a rally, and a lady came up to me and she said, I've been a lifelong Democrat, but I'm going to vote for you. I'm going to vote for Winsome, and I'm going to vote for Jason.
Wake up time.
This is something historic happening.
Yeah.
It's something new. It's hopeful. It's optimistic. This is a vision of Virginians coming together and saying no, this left, liberal, progressive agenda that is actually led by a few and has taken over our Commonwealth. Virginians are coming together and saying no, not here. And on behalf of America, we're standing up together and saying we're going this way. That's what's happening right now. You know, my opponent, Terry McAuliffe, actually said when he accepted his nomination, Virginia's a very different place than it was 8 years ago. And I'm not going to talk about when I was governor. You know, he didn't want to talk about it because he didn't do a good job.
Right.
But yes, Virginia's a very different place, Mr. McAuliffe. Blinding glimpse of the obvious. Our economy is absolutely being lapped by those around us. You see it every day. Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, even Maryland. When Terry McAuliffe was governor, those states actually grew 50% faster than Virginia. And you see it every day because we have to compete in order to win. We actually now have Virginia's cost of living being above the national average. And guess what? Virginia families are moving away. And guess where they're going? Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and Texas. Yeah, way to go, Texas. My wife's a Texan, so here we go, Texas. Virginia families are moving away faster than they're moving here from the other 49 states. Why? Better job opportunities, lower cost of living, and except for North Carolina, which we can go fix, Republican governors. That's what's happening, folks. Yes, Mr. McAuliffe, Virginia's really different than it was 8 years ago. We have a 20-year high murder rate. Our communities are less safe. Yes, Mr. McAuliffe, Virginia's really different than it was 8 years ago. The standards in our schools have come so far down, our kids can't compete anymore. As Winsome said, in 8th grade, over 80% of black children can't pass this math proficiency test. Over 70% of Latino children, 45% of white children. Friends, this is not education.
That's right.
This is not preparing our children for the future. Yes, Mr. McAuliffe, Virginia's very different than it was before you took office. Friends, there is a vision for Virginia that I know we all have. That Virginia will be the place where every child who graduates from high school here and gets a diploma will be either career or college ready. Don't have to go to college because there's going to be so many jobs people can take. Where in fact we have a rip-roaring economy with more jobs that provide an opportunity for all Virginians. That in fact our children go to school to learn how to think, not what to think.
Amen.
That we in fact have safe communities where we can send our children out to play and not worry about what's going to happen to them, and our parents and our grandparents can go for a walk, and the only thing they worry about is what they're going to do tomorrow because today was so great right here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. A place where every single Virginia kid dreams the biggest dream they possibly can, and then has the confidence and the capabilities to go get that dream. That's what happened to me. I was born in Bon Air in Richmond. And in 7th grade, my dad lost his job. And our whole family got turned upside down, and my parents decided to restart in Virginia Beach. And that's where we started again. When I was 15, I got a job taking out trash and washing dishes at a diner down at the beach. There's dignity in work.
Yeah.
There's dignity in work. And I dreamed big dreams. I wanted to play college basketball. I wanted to get a great, great education. And then I wanted to build a life in Virginia. A life with family and kids and job opportunities. And you know what, friends? I've had a chance to live the American dream. The Virginia dream. I want every single child in Virginia to dream the biggest, boldest, most outlandish dream they can think of, and then have the confidence and the capabilities to go get it. That's what we're going to do together. We're going to build that Virginia together. That's what we're going to do. Now, elections have consequences, and as Winsome said, this election's going to start a lot sooner than people think. Some places September 17th, other places September 18th. But this election starts. Folks, 3 short months.
Right.
Sorry, 2 short months. Here we go. And there is a very clear distinction on the ballot.
Yes.
The vision that we just talked about is the vision the 3 of us want to lock arms with all of you, and oh, by the way, with 6 more delegates to the House of Delegates, which we will take back and lead Virginia forward. That's what we want to do. We will build a rip-roaring economy with more jobs than people can take. My opponent, in fact, wants to undermine all that. He, in fact, has said, if the bill to get rid of right to work crosses his desk, quote, I will sign it. Friends, I'm not against unions. I'm against forcing every Virginia worker to pay a portion of their hard-earned paycheck to Terry McAuliffe's union boss friends.
Yeah.
That's what I'm against.
All right.
That's what I'm against. Our schools need a complete overhaul.
Yes.
We must start with the curriculum and reestablishing the great standards of holding the schools accountable for teaching our children.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's right.
Terry lowered all those standards. You know what? Before he lowered the standards, 88 schools in Virginia failed to get their accreditation.
Right.
And then he changed the metrics, and only 1 failed. Only 1. He lowered the standards in our schools such that Virginia kids going in 8th grade actually have the 50th standard for math. bottom 10 for English. Is it surprising that now today our kids aren't competing as well? We watch them dropping in rankings on all fronts. Friends, when we are serving you, when I'm serving you as your governor, we're going to reestablish standards. We're going to make sure that critical race theory is not taught in our schools.
Amen.
We are absolutely going to teach our children the things they need to know. Advanced math, advanced degrees, opportunities to in fact learn the skills so they could go right into jobs. Friends, we also have to invest in our schools. We have to pay our teachers more. They're all below the national standard. We have to raise the salaries for our teachers. We must invest in the buildings. And friends, we must give parents the empowerment to have something to say about their kids' future. We will press forward with school choice, and we in fact will make sure that school boards hear your voice.
Right.
Your voice. Friends, we are going to establish a standard of excellence in Virginia, and the entire country is going to know that Virginia will be number one in education. Number one. Jason talked about safe communities. Rest assured, sir, your governor will have your back. Your governor will have your back. My opponent, in fact, has said that he will actually get rid of qualified immunity. And let's be clear, qualified immunity protects our law enforcement heroes from frivolous civil lawsuits. Getting rid of it is just another way to defund police. It just is. We see law enforcement all over Virginia that has been depleted, demoralized. And oh, by the way, is it any surprise that we have a 20-year high in murder rate? Friends, when I am serving you as your governor, and Winsome Sears is serving you as your lieutenant governor, and Jason Miyares is serving you as your attorney general, we in fact are going to make sure that our law enforcement heroes are funded. We're going to make sure they have the equipment they need. We're going to work to increase salaries. We're going to protect qualified immunity, and we are going to stand up and have their back because they have ours. That's what we'll do. My opponent, he agrees with Joe Biden. Joe Biden said recently that those amendments to our Constitution are not absolute. Friends, I'm going to repeat that. He said those amendments to our Constitution are not absolute. And then Terry McAuliffe tweeted shortly thereafter, so-called religious freedom is no basis for legislation. Friends, this is where they are. Our Constitution and our Bill of Rights are at the foundation of this great country. And again, hear me right now. When I'm working for all of you as your governor, with these great people working with me, we are going to stand up for our constitutional rights because that is the foundation of America. The foundation. Just this past week, we launched a whole new initiative on policy for our veterans. Friends, we have to keep our veterans here. 1 out of 12 Virginians is a veteran. And yet today, as our active duty heroes step out of active duty, this year 21,000 of them will leave Virginia and go someplace else. 10,000 will be here. For every one we keep, 2 go away. Guess where they're going? Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and Texas. Common theme here, folks? We got to compete because we want our veterans here, part of our community, the foundation of our community. So we're going to lower the tax burden on their retirement. We're going to make sure that they have a common hub to find their benefits. And we're going to increase the number of VSOs, and we're going to make the path easier and shortened so that they can move from their military career to civil careers in great jobs like serving Virginians further in law enforcement and health care, and yes, in teaching. Ladies and gentlemen, how excited would it be for your child to come home and say, I have the most amazing science teacher, and she in fact is a patriot. She fought for our country, and now she teaches me. Friends, we will keep our veterans here because they are the backbone of our community, and we want that right here in Virginia. Friends, there is a big moment this fall, a big moment, where Virginians are coming together and are going to make a statement. What does tomorrow look like? What kind of Virginia will we have? That's on the ballot. That's on the ballot. And Virginia's history is our nation's history. We all know that our nation wouldn't be here but for Virginians. Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence, those immortal words, those most revolutionary words of all time. All men and women are created equal.
Yeah.
These are the most revolutionary words ever written, right here by a Virginian. And then George Washington led us to independence, and James Madison wrote our Constitution, and Patrick Henry stood up and he said, "We will not ratify that Constitution without a Bill of Rights. Here, use Virginia's." And that's exactly what they did. So here we are today in this beautiful park on a Saturday morning where all of you have taken time out of your busy schedules to be here with us because you love Virginia. That's why you're here. Our nation's future will rest on our present right now. The decisions that will be made this fall will in fact send a signal to the entire country. And I'll tell you, I have modest ambitions. We are going to sweep the statewide offices. We are going to take back our House of Delegates. We are going to win supervisory board seats, sheriff seats, school board seats. Anybody think school board seats matter? And we, in fact, are going to send a shockwave across this country that tells everyone that this is not Republicans against Democrats. This is Virginians standing up for Americans, saying we are going to march forward with a vision of Virginia that brings us all together, that leads us to a better place, that gets rid of the divisiveness, that in fact allows Virginians to live that life that we all want to live. Friends, we cannot do it without you. This is not about Glenn Youngkin, Winsome Sears, and Jason Miyares. This is about us. We need your help, and it starts right now. We need all of you to volunteer. We need you to sign up as precinct captains. We need you to sign up to knock on doors, to make phone calls, to